Two people make the exact same money, $65,000 a year, same city, same rent, same car payment. One of them has $11,000 saved by December. The other one is checking their account on a Tuesday, praying the gas station charge goes through. Same income, completely different life. And the gap between those two people has almost nothing to do with how much they make. I know that sounds like something a rich guy would say from a yacht. It's not. I was the second person for most of my 20s, made decent money, had nothing to show for it, and genuinely believed the answer was a raise. Every time. Once I hit 70K, I'll finally get ahead. Then I hit 70, and somehow I was more broke than before. So this whole thing where broke people stay broke, it's not a discipline problem. And it's definitely not an income problem the way you've been told. It's a set of invisible habits that quietly eat your money before you ever get a shot at keeping it. And once you see them, you can't unsee them. That's what today's about. If you're the kind of person who's smart enough to earn good money but somehow never has any of it left, hit subscribe. That's literally the whole channel. Systems for people who were never actually taught this stuff. Nobody sat us down and explained it, so we're doing it here. Let's start with the one nobody wants to admit. The reason a raise never fixes anything. It's called lifestyle creep, and it's not some rare disease. It's basically the default setting for everyone in their late 20s and early 30s. Here's how it actually plays out. You get a bump. Say you go from $52,000 a year to $60. That's an extra couple $100 a month landing in your checking account. Feels amazing. Feels earned. And within about 6 weeks, that money's gone. Not to savings, not to debt. To a slightly nicer apartment. The DoorDash you now order 3 times a week instead of once because you can afford it now. The subscriptions you added. The Target runs that quietly went from $80 to $140. You didn't decide to spend the raise. Nobody sits down and goes, I'm gonna blow this entire increase. It just gets absorbed. Your lifestyle expands to swallow whatever you feed it, every single time. Which is why the person making 60 and the person making 140 can both be living paycheck to paycheck. The number went up. The margin didn't. And I want to be clear, this isn't you being weak. This is how it's designed to feel. A raise arriving quietly in your bank account with zero plan attached to it is basically an invitation to spend it. The money shows up before any decision does. That's the trap. So here's the move, and it's stupidly simple. The next time your income goes up, a raise, a bonus, a side gig that starts actually paying, you decide where that money goes before it hits your account, not after, before. Let's say you get that $8,000 raise. Instead of letting it dissolve into your lifestyle, you split it on paper the day you find out. Half goes to your life. Yeah, enjoy some of it, you earned it. The other half gets automated straight into savings or investing before you ever see it in checking. If you never touch it, you never miss it. That's not discipline, that's just removing the decision. The reason this works and just spend less doesn't. Willpower is a terrible savings plan. You will lose that fight at 11 at night when you're tired and the Amazon card is right there. I've lost it more times than I'll admit on camera. So you take yourself out of the equation entirely. Set it up once, let it run. This is the difference between those two people from the start, not income. The one with 11 grand saved isn't stronger. They just decided in advance and then automated it so they never had to decide again. Second habit. This one's quieter and it costs more than almost anything else you'll do. It's carrying a credit card balance and treating it like it's just part of being an adult. Somewhere along the way, we all got sold this idea that credit card debt is normal. Everybody has it. It's fine. And look, half the people you know are carrying a balance right now, so it feels true. But here's what that normal actually costs you. Say you've got $6,000 sitting on a card at a 24% annual rate. That's pretty standard right now. If you're only making minimum payments, which is exactly what the card company is hoping for, you're paying somewhere around $120 a month just in interest, not touching the balance, just renting that debt. That's $1,400 a year going straight into a bank's pocket for nothing. For nothing. You don't get a trip, a thing, a memory, it just evaporates. And here's the part that should make you a little angry. The whole system is built to keep you exactly there. The minimum payment is designed to be low enough that it feels manageable, and high enough that they profit for years. That's not an accident, that's the product. So if you've got a balance, that becomes the thing you attack first, before you invest a dime. Nobody in the world is getting a guaranteed 24% return on their investments, but paying off a 24% card is exactly that. It's the best investment available to most people, and it's sitting right there. One thing that actually helps, call your card company and ask them to lower your rate. I'm serious. This works way more often than people think, especially if you've been paying on time. It's a 5-minute phone call, and I've watched people knock 4 or 5 points off their rate just by asking. Worst case, they say no, and you're exactly where you started. The math ain't mathing on that debt until you deal with the rate and the balance together. And I need you to hear this part because it's the whole reason people stay stuck here. If you're carrying debt right now, you're not irresponsible. You got handed a financial product engineered to be confusing, with no instructions, probably around the same time you were figuring out how to do your own taxes and cook something that isn't pasta. Of course you're carrying a balance. Almost everyone is. The point isn't to feel bad. The point is to see it clearly and start pulling out. Third one. And this is the sneakiest of all of them, because it doesn't feel like a money problem at all. It feels like a normal life. It's the slow subscription bleed. Go pull up your bank app right now, actually, do it. Look at the last 30 days. I'll bet you find at least 3 things you forgot you were paying for. That $14.99 streaming service you signed up for to watch one show back in March, the app subscription that auto-renewed, the gym you've been to twice this year, the cloud storage, the free trial that quietly turned into $11.99 a month sometime last fall. None of these feel like anything. That's the whole point. $12 here, 15 there, your brain rounds it down to 0. But add up 4 or 5 of them and you're easily at $70, $80 a month. That's roughly $1,000 a year, leaving your account for stuff you're actively not using. $1,000. That's a real emergency fund starting to form. That's a flight home for the holidays. That's just gone instead. I found a subscription on my own account last year I'd been paying for 18 months. 18 months. For a service I used exactly once. That's a couple $100 I basically set on fire because canceling required like 4 clicks and I never got around to it. So I'm not lecturing you from some perfect place. I'm telling you because I did the dumb version first. Here's the fix, and it takes 15 minutes this week. Open your bank app, sort by recurring charges. Most banks show them now, and go line by line. For each one question. Did I use this in the last month, and would I sign up for it again today? If the answer's no to either, cancel it right then. Don't schedule it. Don't get to it later. Cancel it while you're looking at it. Most people free up $60 to $100 a month doing this in one sitting. That's the exact same result as a small raise, except you don't have to ask anyone's permission, and it happens today. That's the thing about all of this. You keep waiting for more money to come in. Meanwhile, there's money already yours, leaking out the back, and plugging it is faster than earning it. Real quick, if any of this is landing, do me a favor and hit the like button. It genuinely helps this get in front of someone else who's stuck in the exact same spot and doesn't know why. And if a specific person popped into your head while I was talking, the friend who's always broke but somehow always ordering out, send this to them. You don't even have to say anything. They'll get it. Now we get to the deeper one, the one underneath all the others, because you could fix every habit I just listed and still stay broke if you don't get this part. It's your relationship with the money that's left over. Broke isn't just about what leaves your account. It's about what happens the moment there's a little extra sitting there. For a lot of people, and this was me 100%, the second there's a couple $100 of breathing room in checking, the brain reads it as available. Not safe, available. And available money finds a reason to leave. You have $300 extra one month, and suddenly the car needs a detail. Or your buddy's doing a Vegas trip and you're already stretching to say yes before you've done the math. The money never gets a chance to just sit and become something. It's always in motion, always going somewhere. Because when it lives in your checking account, it feels like it's begging to be spent. This is where the person with 11 grand saved is genuinely doing something different. And it's not that they want it more. It's that they got the extra money out of sight. Into a separate high-yield savings account at somewhere like Ally or Marcus, where it earns around 4% just for existing. And, this is the key part, where it's annoying to get to. Out of checking. Out of the daily flow. Out of temptation's reach. And this is the reframe I want you to actually sit with, because it changed everything for me. You've been thinking about being broke as a math problem. Income minus expenses. Make the top number bigger and you win. That's the story everybody tells. But it was never a math problem. It's a design problem. The reason you're broke isn't that the numbers don't work. It's that your money's environment is designed for it to leave. Everything's frictionless on the way out. One tap to buy. Saved cards on every app. Venmo splitting a tab before you've even tasted the food. And there's massive friction on the way to saving anything, because saving requires you to stop, decide, and act every single time against a system built to make spending effortless. So the people who get ahead didn't win the math. They redesigned the environment. They made saving automatic and spending require a small speed bump. They flipped the friction. That's it. That's the actual secret nobody frames this way. It was never that they were better with money. They just stopped relying on being good with money because they knew, the same way you should know now, that in the heat of the moment, nobody is. So let me put the whole thing together, because I don't want this to just be a nice idea you nod at and forget by tomorrow. Here's what redesigning the environment actually looks like this week. The day your paycheck lands, money moves automatically, before you can touch it, into a separate savings account you don't carry a card for. Even $50 a paycheck to start, the amount matters way less than the automation. Your bills come out of checking on autopay, so you stop paying late fees for money you actually had. And whatever raise or side income shows up next, half of it gets automated out of sight before it ever feels like yours. Then you plug the leaks. Kill the dead subscriptions this week. If there's a high interest balance, that's your #1 target, and you call to lower the rate first. And you stop treating the money in checking as available, because the money in checking was never supposed to be the money you build with. None of this requires you to make a single dollar more. That's the part I wish somebody had told me at 24, instead of me spending years white-knuckling through, waiting for the raise that was never going to fix it. I want to go back to those two people from the start. Same $65,000 a year. One with 11 grand saved, one praying at the gas station. For a long time, I thought the saver had something I didn't. More discipline, some money gene. Better parents who explained this stuff. Nah, they just set up a couple of automatic transfers and put their savings somewhere annoying to reach. That's the entire difference. It's almost insulting how simple it is once you see it, because it means the thing standing between you and that other version of your life was never your income, and it was never your character. It was a setup you were never shown. And that's actually the good news, even though it might not feel like it yet. If staying broke were about how much you make, you'd be stuck waiting on other people, a raise, a promotion, a boss who finally notices you. But it's about design, and design is the one thing you fully control. You can rebuild yours this weekend. Nobody's permission required. So here's your actual to-do, and it's short. This week, not someday, you do 3 things. Open your bank app and cancel every subscription you're not using. Set up one automatic transfer from checking to a separate savings account, any amount, the day you get paid. And if you're carrying a card balance, call and ask for a lower rate, then throw everything you can at it before you invest anywhere else. That's it. 3 things. You could knock out all of it in under an hour tonight, and you'd already be running a completely different system than you were this morning. Not more income, a better design. Because broke people don't stay broke because they don't make enough. They stay broke because the money leaves faster than they can catch it, through habits nobody ever pointed out. Now somebody has, so you don't get to unknow it. Sorry about that. If this clicked for you, go watch the one I did on building your first $1,000 emergency fund, even on an irregular income. It's the perfect next step once you've plugged these leaks, especially if you're freelancing or your paychecks are all over the place. And do me one favor down in the comments. Tell me the one subscription you found that you completely forgot you were paying for. I know there's at least one. I want to hear how long it had been running. Mine was 18 months. Beat that.